Hi everyone, welcome back to channel. Today we're going to build a fully reusable time slot selector component in PowerApps. This component will let users to pick a time from morning, day or evening slots. It comes with built-in error handling and reset functionality. By the end of this tutorial, you will be able to create a Canvas app component from scratch, add input, output and action properties, and build a responsive gallery from morning, day and evening time slot, implement selection, reset and default functionality. This is perfect if you're building appointment booking apps, scheduling apps, or any app that requires users to pick a time quickly and very easily. So let's jump straight into PowerApps and start creating our time slot components step by step. Let's start by creating a new Canvas component. In PowerApps Studio, go to the Components tab, click on New Component, name this component Time Slot Component. We will set the canvas for this component with a width of 1024 and height of 300. Now we will define properties for our component. We need few inputs, output and action so that component is reusable in any apps. Add the following properties. So go to the custom properties, click on new custom property, add a new property called default time, then create it. Then the next property has error, its property data type as boolean. Next property we will create reset. This is an action property used to clear the selection. Click create. Now another property, selected time, stores the currently selected time. It's an output property, so I will put property definition as output and data type as text. Then I will put another property called set default time, and again this would be an action property. These properties will control initial value, handle error, allow parent screen to interact with our component. Now let's structure the component with the main container. Insert a vertical container and rename it as con time slot. So we have renamed this as con time slot. Enter. Now we will put width to fill the parent. We will put its position as 0 and y as 0. In fact, we can also put its height as parent.height. This container will hold everything, the header, time slot galleries. Now inside the main container, add another group container called time slot header. So insert horizontal container, rename this as con time slot header, make its height flexible height off and then height as 40, and then put a gap of 10 in this container. Now here we can see the header container and the main container. Now inside this header container, add 3 labels: morning slot, day slot and evening slot. So for that we'll go to insert, click on text label and put the text value of the label as morning slot. Come here again, insert another label, put its text value as evening slot, go back to insert, text label and day slot. Now we can arrange these into an order of morning, evening and day by clicking the day slot, and we can use our left arrow which will just move it in between. Now we want these 3 labels to fill the whole header container. So for that you can click on label 1, makes it flexible width as full, so it is filling up all the blank areas. Go to level 3, make fill width as full, and for the same label make fill width as on. So now all 3 levels are covering up the whole header section. Now the fun part, the time slot galleries. Add another container. I will add a horizontal container and let's rename it as con time list. Now we will add 3 galleries, one for morning, one for day and one for evening. Each gallery will generate times in 15-minute intervals. Morning gallery will be from 8 to 11:45 with a 16 slot. Day will be 12 to 3:45 16 slot, and evening 4 to 8:45 of 20 slots. Inside each gallery we will add a button and text, and we will set a variable to store selected time. We'll also add conditional formatted so that selected button changes color and error, highlighting the works. Go to insert, add a gallery. Now we will rename the morning slot gallery as gal morning slot, and then in its item properties we will put a formula for all sequence, which is 1601 followed by a comma, text time 800 plus time 0 plus comma this record dot value into 15 comma 0 comma, and we will put a formatting that will look like something like this: $English US church. So this formula is going to create a sequence of time starting from 8 to 11:45, and we use this sequence as a way to show the dates here. Now inside this I'm going to add a button, and this button we are going to show the time. So I'll go to text, this item dot value. Now this is my button and this is my gallery, and I want to be able to show 4 columns in each gallery. So I will go to my wrap count and put the value as 4 here, and now you can see that I have 4 columns and multiple rows. I can now also decrease the height of each height and width of each of the section from the properties of gallery. So I will put template size as, let's say, 50, and then button as width as parent dot template. So I'm setting the width as parent dot template width, and similarly height as parent dot template height. I'm also going to do some formatting, like I will put the background as white, text as black, and then I can put some borders around it, which is already there, but I'll just keep it 1. When this button is clicked, I want to set the time. So in its on select property, I will set var selected item comma this item dot value. So what this is doing is, whenever I click this button, it will set var selected item as the value of the selected time slot. And then now when this selected item is set, I want its output property, which is selected time, to be the same variable that I clicked here. Similarly, let's say when you have not selected any color, or let's say if there is an error in the app, what I can do is on the border color properties, which is over here, I am putting a formula which sees that if there is an error in the time slot component, if there is, just make everything red. So now, right now the has error is set to true, that's why it's all set as red, and I can go here and make has error as false. Now whenever you click it, the time gets selected. You can do this, you can copy this slot and do the generation for day, evening slot as well. Now for the other properties of the time slot component, like setting a default time, what we can do is on the time slot component, we can go to set default time property and put a formula which sets the selected default time. Now the other properties, like reset properties, we can go to its reset property and put this formula, which basically is resetting the selected item as blank. The other formula, that is default time, it is just passed from the main app itself, so you don't need to set anything, but for now I can put 10:15 as the default time. And what needs to happen is whenever somebody clicks it, it needs to select this particular date. And how we achieve that is go to the fill property of this particular button and put a formula that will color this particular button. So I'm going to the button and going to its fill property and putting this formula, which basically is checking that if if this particular date is the selected time or not. If yes, it'll put a certain color to it, otherwise it'll just do this gray color. So it's checking if it's selected time and put the color accordingly. Now if you insert this component here and play it, whenever you click it, it's selecting these time slots. Similarly, I can also put the same formula to its color property, and on its color property what I can do is I can use the same formula, and now when you come to the screen, now you can see that previously it was dark, now it's white whenever it's selected. Now we are putting the morning slot, evening slot and the day slot. So I'll just copy this gallery, copy, and then come to this time slot container and paste it again, paste it, and then we now have these three for morning, day and evening. Now day, I don't want to start it from 8, so what I can do is I can come here and instead of starting from 8, I can start it from 12, and now the time is starting from 12 to 3:45. Similarly here I want to start it from 1600 hours, and now it's starting from 16 to 7:45. So this is how you can also define that. Now I want a separator in between these slots, so I can come to time slot controller, put a rectangle, and then make its color dimly gray or even grayer than that. You can play around with whatever colors that you like. I will put width as 2, and then I would put the alignment to stretch, and then just move this to left. Now you can see there is a separator between this section. Same separator I can copy, come to the time list, paste, and then move it to the start and right. So you can see there is a gallery, there is a rectangle, there is a gallery, there is a rectangle, there is a gallery, and this is how it looks like. Now you can also increase the gap between the morning, evening and day slot by clicking on this time list, come to the gap properties, let's put it 10. And now you can see there is a visible gap between these. If you want to decrease the size of a button, you can click on each of these galleries, decrease the template size, and it will also decrease the height. So for example, if I put template size as 40, you can see that the size of this button has decreased. Same, I can come here, decrease the template size, decrease the template size. So here, if I want to use the values that I am selecting from here, for example, let's click on text label. Now if I come to this text label and use a property that is it has an output property that will give me the selected time, which is selected time. So in this table, if I do selected time, now it'll give me the selected time. As I go changing the selected time, this time is also updating. If I want to reset this component, I can have a button, and then I can reset this times. So it has a reset property. Copy the name of this, go to button and reset, play this, click here. So it's resetting the time. I can also use its error property, turn it on, just to show that this field has not been filled yet, so that it would grab the attention. And that's how you build a time slot selector component in PowerApps. This component is fully reusable, responsible, and ready to integrate into any scheduling or appointment apps. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this tutorial helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.